Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Discerning Otaku, where I'm going to get into all of my anime recommendations and first impressions of this current season. This is going to be the second episode of this season, and I've been a little bit busy. There's been a lot of stuff to watch this season, so without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. Thanks for joining me. Alright, first up on this list is Atelier, Ryza, Ever Darkness, and the Secret Hideout of the Animation. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't make it through the entire double-length first episode. It was just so boring. I actually have the game and do enjoy it, but I guess at least for me, it just doesn't lead itself to a standalone anime. The characters came off really odd, almost like they were grown toddlers. They just kept introducing more and more characters before establishing who any of them were, which I think had a lot to do with the fact that it was lacking gameplay, because once again, this was a game first and foremost. And it worked in the scope of a video game, as you spend far more time interacting with them. But in the scope of a weekly show, I think too much is lost in that. And you just kind of miss what this series of games is known for. You miss the gameplay, you miss the atmosphere. It's just not really reproduced properly. So all in all, fun game, but extremely boring anime. And this one I did drop. Next up, we have Fate Strange Fake Whispers of Dawn. Now, I am a fan of the Fate series, but in all honesty, I have not watched everything. There is a lot there, a lot to unpack between visual novels, game tie-ins, anime series, and things to that nature. I am merely a casual Fate enjoyer, sticking largely to the mainline series, since the timelines and side stories can get to be a bit confusing. But this one snuck up on me. And I admit I was not familiar with it. I've not researched into the basics of it or anything to that nature. Basic premise is a fake Holy Grail war is being created in the United States, and apparently all of the servants are more or less psychopaths. A1 once again outdid themselves. The art style is a bit different, but the animation, character designs, and overall compositions were beautiful to behold, and I am only upset because I now have to wait for the continuation. The writing is as usually incredibly melodramatic, but done perfectly. Voice acting is also top-notch. Honestly, just go check it out if you have even a slight interest. I am lucky because I understand the basics of the Fate series, so it may require at least that. But if you can get down with the premise and things of that nature, this one was an incredibly enjoyable watch. There are just a couple key scenes in there that you can see the budget just disappear because of these scenes. But overall, absolutely fantastic. Definite go check this one out. Next up, we have Level 1 Demon Lord and 1 Room Hero. You really have to wonder what's going on in society with all of the disenfranchised hero turned bum anime coming out. I take that back, I've seen the news. Anyway, here's the latest one. Basic premise is Demon Lord is defeated by the hero. No biggie there. Demon Lord is reborn after 10 years, only to discover the hero has become a lazy bum who hates society. By no means is the story new, and I can't say it's a crazy new take on it, but it was an enjoyable first episode. Little bits of ecchi and some crude humor here and there. There are some super minor heartfelt moments, and the fact that it's set in a modern fantasy society with internet and such is fun. I did enjoy the first episode, and we'll continue on with this one if for nothing else to have a nice laugh each week. I wouldn't really recommend it for everybody. If you've seen one of these, you've kind of seen them all. If any of the art style might get you, or if there's any little bits and pieces of the slight variations on the story get you, then maybe check it out. But I've seen past the first episode, and it just kind of sticks with what it does. It like I said, it doesn't really deviate much, but it's not horrible, it's not bad, it's just kind of standard across the board. The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses. Hey everybody, look, Gohan's is back doing crazy camera edits. But this show will probably be touted as one of the prettiest of the season, but the animation company needs to calm down with the ankle-high camera follows. It's actually a little dizzying, to say the least. Character designs and animations are truly stunning, don't get me wrong. Similar concept to Aharen-san, as odd girls see it next to a guy and has to be extremely close to him to communicate. Aharen-san was due to volume, and this is due to her eyesight. It's going to be a cutesy romance anime with a fairly standard story, but set the bar with crazy good art and animation. Gohan's just needs to tone down their crazy camera angles. I mean, this is only the first of a couple shows they're doing this season, but this one's insane. It's like the first time when you watch a movie and it's like that person just got a new piece of camera equipment, they're going to utilize it. And that's really what Gohan seems to be doing. It's like, okay, we have this on-rail camera, we're going to use it as much as humanly possible. But overall, I think this season is going to be talked about in the negative for the camera angles, but on the positives, just how pretty it is. The eye designs in particular are absolutely breathtaking. That's the one thing that kept catching me, was anytime they zoom in on the eyes, which is quite regularly, you just notice all of the kind of the love and time that went into creating them. So if you can get past Gohan's crazy camera angles and you just kind of want one of those popcorn shows that's just a standard romance, this one will probably be pretty good for you. Next up, we have Reborn. As a vending machine, I now wander the dungeon. Now, I'm all for isekai and watch quite a bit, but even this one seemed a bit of a stretch. I, however, was pleasantly wrong. It just makes sense in the context of the story and comes off as incredibly charming. The logic is quickly thought out, and the communication between the vending machine and the girl who finds him, for just lack of better terms, makes complete sense. The powers he has and how he survives are surprisingly well thought out, and I found myself wishing that it were a game I could play, since he has to manage products and money and use the money to stay active and change products and do other adjustments to how he runs. It might seem stupid, and to be honest, it kind of is, but damn, I think I'm really going to enjoy this one. The world building in it has been done incredibly well. It kind of stands above a lot of other baseline isekai with a unique premise, and with the amount of isekai that have come out lately, having a unique premise is huge, and just everything overall feels it's different enough to warrant giving it a shot. And like I said, the logic kind of all makes sense when you break everything down within the world. So if you're looking for some more isekai, try this one out. Next up is Undead Murder Farce. This one was strange. Alt reality where demons are purged for sport. It's set back quite a bit. It's not modern era, but its basis is a half Oni hybrid fights to both live and die. He takes a job from a severed head known as the Immortal to find her body, and she will help him live longer instead of being consumed by his Oni half. It plays out like a very melodramatic play with some very, very odd choices in writing as per what I'm used to. It's not bad by any means, and it looks beautiful, and the animation is very, very striking. It's just weird, especially the end scene on the first episode. While within the context of the show, the end scene does make complete sense, it's just a bit odd on the first viewing. Definitely interested in where this one goes, and I have made it past the first episode, and it does kind of play off as almost like a murder mystery as it progresses on, which was actually a very, very good choice. It actually kind of cemented the genre that it was going for, and it's actually a bit more enjoyable past the first episode, and I've actually quite enjoyed it up to this point. But yeah, absolutely beautiful animation, character designs are great. The character personalities are actually done very, very well, and that's been one of the things that's been the most striking about it, is the characters are very interesting to watch. So if you're looking for something a bit different, more on like a fantasy mystery angle, go ahead and check this one out. Alright, elephant in the room here. I'm going to go ahead and mention a continuation. I don't generally do continuations, usually premieres only. But by God, I do need to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen. It's back. It's a prequel of a prequel, so it's actually even predating the movie prequel that came out. So this is going back to like when Gojo was a student. No problems with it whatsoever. Animation art style has changed just a little bit, but it's still being done by Mappa. Seeing Gojo as kind of like the arrogant high schooler is kind of fun to see how his character has progressed through all of this. And I'm a few episodes past the first, and my God, it is killing it. Like Jujutsu Kaisen came back with a vengeance. I'm extremely excited to see where this season continues. I watched the first season, enjoyed it. It was not like a be-all, end-all for me until the movie came out, saw the movie, and realized the depth that everything was continuing. And man, this is kind of my go-to shonen now. I actually prefer it quite a bit more over Chainsaw Man, just with the depth of the characters, the writing, and the world building. And man, I can't say enough. Even if you haven't seen the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen, due to this being a prequel, you can go in blind. It's pretty easy. They're introducing characters because, I mean, it's a prequel. This is kind of where they got their start. So you can really go back in and see this with a pair of fresh eyes, and it'll work. But yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen absolutely killing it. Glad to have it back. And finally in this batch we have Reign of the Seven Spellblades, and it seems we have a new Harry Potter anime. After Mashle last season, now we have this. Animation and character designs are done extremely well. We even have a Ron, Hermione, and Harry archetype introduced in the first few minutes. We do have the familiar trope of the MC being someone other than who he says he is. We also have a mysterious samurai girl whom the MC is apparently is in love with. This is going to be his love interest. It doesn't seem to touch a lot of new ground, but I did find myself quite interested in the world. Unlike Mashle, it seems to be going the more serious route, which I think is good. I enjoyed Mashle last season, but it really was just goofy through and through. And I have been reading Mashle, but having a more serious tone Magical Academy, aka, Harry Potter anime, done well, would be more my preference over the comedy view style for it. And I think that one is going to secure that spot for it. Like I said, we have our familiar archetypes. The world building seems to be done quite well. Animation's great. I just hope that it doesn't hit too trope heavy and kind of falter after the first few episodes. That does remain to be seen. But so far, it is actually doing pretty well. So if you're looking for another new Harry Potter anime, here you go. And there you have it on this episode of First Impressions on this season of new anime. Are there any of these that you're watching? Anything you think I need to check out? I know I'm covering almost everything this season, so I will have another video coming with some more First Impressions. But if you like this new format, if you have any comments, if you want to tell me if I'm wrong on any of these shows because you know more about the source material, please feel free to go ahead and leave a comment down in the comment section. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy what I'm doing. It really helps me out quite a bit. It lets me know, if I've got people that enjoy what I'm doing, I can try and push more videos out when I have some time. I've got some other ones kind of locked and loaded that I'm going to be trying out here before too long, once I get through all my first impressions for this season. But thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode, and I will talk to you later.